So we'll go ahead and get started here today. I'm super excited that you guys are here with us. So I want to introduce you to the concept of virtual assistants. I know for some of you that may be new. We actually like to call them remote team members because they are part of our team. So I'm going to show you how they can help you grow and scale your business with the use of virtual assistants. So by raise of hands, or you can just put in the chat box in here, who in here is ready to grow and scale their business? Yeah. How about who in here would like to keep more profits in their pocket? Or better yet, how about take away some of those minimum wage activities that you're doing in your business each and every day, right? So real quick, I kind of wanted you guys to take out a sheet of paper and a pen if you wouldn't mind. And I wanted you to write down 3 things that you're currently doing in your business right now that you know that you shouldn't be doing, that you would like to offload within the next 30 days. And if you're brave enough, I would love for somebody to put in the chat box what you've written down. So I'll give you about 30 seconds or so. Anybody? How about emails? Phone calls coming in? Well, I know you guys have a list of things. Renewals, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So whatever you've written down here, how about if I show you how you can offload some of these tasks within the next 30 to 60 days? Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can do that. But just a little bit about myself. So for those of you that today's topic obviously is how highly trained virtual assistants can help you grow your company and keep more profits. And so just a little bit about myself. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Joni Wolf-Swinkle. I'm a business owner and entrepreneur just like yourself. I own 3 national franchises, 2 of which are property management franchises, one in Houston, Texas, and the other in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Between the 2 franchises, I manage just about 1,500 doors. And then I also have a Mr. Rooter Plumbing in Albuquerque, New Mexico as well, and a build-to-rent company here in Texas, and our virtual assistant company. So lots of moving parts with us. And I have about 50 team members that work with me, and about 30 of those are actually virtual assistants. So could you say that I'm passionate about the use of virtual assistants in my business? Absolutely. That's how we've been able to grow and scale our business and all multiple businesses, is by the use of our virtual assistants. So you're probably wondering how I actually got here, right? So the truth is that I was not only trying to grow and scale my business, just the one business, but multiple businesses, right? And I was working 70 to 80 hours a week, just not having any free time. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. As the business owners, you feel like you have to do everything yourself, right? Sometimes we are the bottlenecks, and I truly was the bottleneck of my business until I realized that I was just holding my company back, right? And so until I figured that out and started offloading some of these tasks that I was doing, I mean, it was a game changer for my business. So I'm going to show you how you can not only have more free time for yourself, but also to keep more profits in your pocket as well, right? And so immediately what I kind of learned from hiring a virtual assistant is I could begin delegating tasks to free up our own time to focus on the bigger picture. So again, I was no longer working in the business, but I was working on the business. And that's truly what helped me to grow the company. And then virtual assistants also helped us get the most use out of our traditional on-premise employees. So, you know, our leaders in the company were just putting out fires all day long, and they just couldn't get to the meat of what they needed to. And so now that we have virtual assistants, they are able to, you know, do things that they weren't able to do before. And then our customer service is key, guys. And I think a lot of companies just don't have time to do it, right? Because again, they are always just putting out fires. And so now with our remote team members are answering phone calls, they're actually getting reviews from our clients. I mean, you can look at our reviews. We have tons of reviews just because they're always asking for that. And guess what? Customers look at those reviews, right? So we are putting the customer service on the forefront of our business. And then of course we focus on growing our business, which I'm a salesperson. I know you guys all have salespeople as well. And salespeople just are not really good with paperwork. I hate to say it, but we're not. And so they are helping us on the back end, getting paperwork from clients. And, that way our salespeople can do what they're good at, which is out in the field selling, right? And then we also could offer more services to increase our revenues. And of course, natural disasters, those come all the time and we have to be prepared for those, right? And our virtual assistants help with that as well. So we're going to talk about hiring a little bit now, because I know that for a lot of us, that is a pain point. Hiring is really difficult right now. We cannot find anybody if it saved our lives, or it's like finding a needle in a haystack right now. And it's just painful. And we want you to check this out. So hiring an employee in a company with 0 to 500 people costs an average of $7,645. According to Glassdoor, the average company in the United States spends about $4,000 to hire a new employee, taking up to 52 days to fill a position. If you're replacing someone instead of filling a new position, stakes get even higher. Replacing someone can cost you up to 50 to 60% of their annual salary. Turnover can be quite costly, summing up a total of 90 to 200% of an employee's annual salary. And guys, this doesn't even include the overhead rate when you include office expense, supplies, insurance, workers' compensation. All of that adds up for just one employee. It's expensive, and now it just keeps increasing with inflation, right? And so what if I told you by hiring a virtual assistant, you can actually keep in your pocket an additional $60,000, right? What could you do with that additional $60,000? You can maybe put it into, marketing and sales to grow your business, right? We'll talk a little bit more about employees as well. So I know a lot of us have employees, and you can tell me how many employees you have. And I bet you anything, you're paying your employees anywhere from $20 to $30 an hour. And this doesn't include the benefits and taxes, right? It's expensive, and we know that just keeps increasing. Just the other day, we're trying to hire a project manager, and we had an application, or applied for it, and we sent him the assessment test, and he's like, I'm not taking that test. It's like, what do you mean I'm not taking that test, right? It's just difficult, but it's expensive. They want more money as well. So I'm sure you guys are paying $20 to $30 an hour. What if I told you that you could hire 2 to 5 virtual assistants for the price of what you're paying for one key employee? What do you think that could do to your business and impact your productivity? You can do a lot more with that, right? Maybe even take down multiple cities. That's truly how I was able to grow my property management companies, is because we had virtual assistants that were doing stuff for both franchises. So just keep that in mind, guys, that you can do a lot more, 2 to 5 virtual assistants for the price of what you pay for one employee. So how can a virtual assistant help you right now? You should say pretty much yes to all these. So who here has to deal with rising costs of goods and supplies? All of us, right? And that's just going to continue to get worse. Who here has to deal with wages increasing so much that it affects margins in your business? Absolutely. Again, that's going to continue to get worse. Who here wants a better way to get employees for a fraction of the cost? We all should be raising our hands to these questions, because it is an issue, and it's going to continue to be an issue. And we handle all the hiring for you, so you don't have to worry the headaches of hiring. We put the candidates right in front of you, re-screen them, and we find quality candidates for you guys. So you're probably wondering, like, what are the list of things that a virtual assistant can do? And here they are, guys. But the most important part I wanted you to get out of this is that list that you actually wrote down at the very beginning. Those are probably tasks that you need to offload right away, right? Some of you guys just need an executive assistant really to help you take the load off yourself. I know that for myself, initially, I was running 1,000 miles an hour, answering phone calls, answering emails, sending paperwork out. And I'm telling you, once I got my executive assistant to do a lot of this stuff for me, I had more time to do stuff that I was never able to do before. So yes, eventually we will get here. We'll be able to get them to do a lot of the stuff that you're doing in your business. But a lot of you, what you need is an executive assistant just to take off that burden off of you, right? And one thing I'm going to tell you is that you're going to actually have an opportunity to have a one-on-one coaching session with me. So I'll go through your business, see what your pain points are, see what you're doing, and I will help guide you along so that way we can take some of those items off your plate. How does that sound? At the end, I'll kind of give you my Calendly, so you can go ahead and schedule a one-on-one coaching session with me. But here it is, guys. You can take a picture of this if you like. These are items that you're probably doing in your business right now that you had no idea that could be offloaded, right? I want to ask you one big question here. So if a storm hit tomorrow, would you be prepared? Big question, right? If a big storm hit tomorrow, would you be prepared? And what I mean by that is, do you have your systems in place? Do you have your processes in place? Do you have your team in place to have the biggest and best year that you've ever had, right? If you don't, I mean, that's something that to prepare for. So if you remember the Texas freeze, we had that back in February. It was the biggest freeze. We weren't anticipating this at all. And if you know, I've managed rental properties here in Houston. We managed just about 1,000 doors. I had 350 busted pipes in the Houston area. And we were going like crazy. Our on-site premise employees could not get to the office. The roads were closed, you know, it wasn't safe, all that good stuff. I mean, we didn't have power, we couldn't answer phones, all of that. Guess what, guys? My entire remote team actually led my company during this time. Yeah, tenants were calling in work orders. Yeah, we couldn't do anything at that time, but do you think it made them feel comfortable and we provided that extra customer service because somebody was answering the phone? Absolutely. What about our owners? Our owners were calling, wondering what the heck is going on, right? The news always makes it look worse than it really is. And so we were able to tell our owners, hey, look, we are getting to it. We will notify you, you know, once our team is on the roads to check out your properties. And so again, just providing that extra level of service, it was huge. And then once we got out to the properties, our remote team members were coordinating the plumbers, making sure that they were on schedule, making sure that the tenants were notified, right? And then once this was all done, we could actually file insurance claims. Guess who filed the insurance claims? Our remote team members. Yes, they pretty much led the entire company. Well, we were stressed out. Everybody was wondering what was going on, right? And so they were a tremendous help through this. And a lot of the property management companies here in Houston had no clue what to do. They were just trying to, you know, do what they could to stay afloat. We had our best year in maintenance last year because of this. And the reason why is because we were prepared. We had our processes in place. We had our procedures in place, and we had our team in place to handle all of this. So again, guys, if you don't have this, if you don't have the preparation, now's the time. Don't wait for it to happen, because success occurs when opportunity meets preparation, right? So you're probably wondering what the cost of a remote team member costs. So the startup fee is only $7.95. That's really the placement fee. So that will get us to find the remote team member. We will, you know, we usually get about 3 to 4 for you to interview. So you'll interview them just like you interview any other employee. You can ask them questions, all that good stuff. It'll be over a Zoom call. It's $7.95 to place them, and then $10 an hour. So that's $400 a week, guy, for a full-time remote team member that can take a lot of this burden off of you. So I know some of you are Rooter, you know, dispatching is an issue, right? We have a dispatcher at our Rooter office that's a remote team member. So again, guys, it's $10 an hour for a full-time employee. It's a no-brainer, right? And so now I'm going to kind of open it up to the top 10 questions that I have. And then of course, I'll open it up to you guys if you guys have some questions as well. So how quickly can I get my new virtual assistant? So it's pretty simple. As if you say, hey, Joni, I want a virtual assistant, I'm ready to go, then we'll go ahead and pull the trigger. We'll have 3, you know, ready to go for you to interview, and then you can choose from one of those ones. And we typically like to get 3 candidates that we feel are great for you. So you know offhand that they're great quality candidates, and then you just pick and choose them based on if they fit your company and culture, right? How do I know if my virtual assistant tasks are being completed? And this is a great question. So we're going to be right alongside you to make sure that you know, we give you the tools that you need to, so your virtual assistant is successful. And so at the beginning of the day, they will actually send us a list of items that they plan to do for that day, right? And then at the end of the day, they're going to say, hey, Miss Joni, I completed all these tasks. And so that way, you know that they are getting the work that you need done, right? And if there's something that needs to be priority, then we will go ahead and let them know, and will let them know what needs to be priority. What is the most requested service for the use of virtual assistant? Again, guys, it depends on where you guys are at in your business. I know a lot of you, I've worked with you guys. Beth, I've worked with you. And so a lot of things that, you know, we start with are your pain points. Like, what are you guys doing in your business right now that we can immediately offload, right? And then from there, we will maybe put them in different departments. So again, once we have that coaching session, I'll be able to understand your business and where you're at, so we can go ahead and guide you the right way. Okay. Can my virtual assistant work part-time? Unfortunately, we only have full-time employees. And the reason why is because all of our virtual assistants are out of Mexico. It's a Mexico-based company. And so they work full-time, just like here. People want benefits. They want, you know, you want a good quality employee here, they're going to want benefits. So we actually pay their benefits for them. They get their medical benefits and their housing benefits all paid with that $10 that you guys pay. So $400 is really not that much, guys, if you look at it. And you can help, they can help you create systems and processes for you if you feel like you don't have enough for them to do. But I guarantee you, I will show you how you can utilize them in the right way. How will having a virtual assistant affect my company and culture? It won't, guys. Again, we're hiring based on like how you would normally hire. So just because it's a remote person doesn't mean that we can't find a good quality candidate for you. So we will hire for your company and culture just like you would any other way, right? How long does it take to onboard? So, you know, as soon, say that you pull the trigger today on one of our remote team members, we're going to put them in our training program. And so they're going to get about a week to a week and a half of training. And so we want them to get a good foundation of what they're going to be doing, right? Whether if it's answering phone calls or if it's dispatching, whatever it is, we want to go ahead and get them prepared. That way, when they onboard to you, it's easy peasy and you guys don't have to spend a whole lot of time with them, and they can go ahead and start working for the most part right away. Of course, they're going to have to be trained on your systems and your processes because everybody has different processes, right? But we at least will have them have a good foundation so that way they can onboard to you pretty quickly, okay? Can one virtual assistant work in many different tasks for my company? Absolutely. And we find that that's actually pretty common at the very beginning, especially since they're new to the concept of remote team members. You might have them do maybe some emails. You might have them do, you know, some dispatching or coordinating repairs. You know, so it is possible that you will have them do different tasks. And what we'll do is we'll actually look for somebody a little bit more well-rounded, so that way they can do other things, right? And eventually over time, you may say, hey, this person is great for dispatching, so we're going to go ahead and put them in dispatching, right? Or this person is great for renewals, we'll keep it in renewals and we'll find somebody else who can answer phone calls. How do I choose my virtual assistant? So I just explained that. So when you're ready, we'll choose 3 candidates that fit what you're looking for, and then you can actually interview them. And how does it cost? How much does it cost? Again, the $7.95 and then the $10 an hour. So it's pretty simple, guys. So these are our top 10 questions that a lot of people ask us. And I'm going to open it up to you guys to see if you guys have any additional questions for me. No questions? Awesome. You guys are an easy group here.
No, I'm going to ask questions.
Oh, wait. Nobody has questions? Beth, you don't have a question?
No. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Awesome.
So how do I let them do my renewals? I am so afraid to do it. I want to do it because it drives me crazy and I spend so much time doing it. I guess I'm afraid I'm going to lose that connection between the owner and me.
Yeah, and that's understandable. We will take baby steps. So, you know, I know sometimes it's hard to let go, especially the owners, right? And so a lot of times we start with the tenants first. And so what they can help you with initially until you get that comfort level is they can help you with the market analysis, right? They can help you with those kind of things leading up to that. Way, all you got to do is send out the owner approvals, right? And then from there, they can go ahead and send out the lease renewals. So you can still interact. You can do the interaction with the owners if you don't want to let that go right away. And then eventually, how I have it right now, my renewals team, I got so, I'm comfortable with them doing it. Now I just let go. So you'll get there, Beth, I promise.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's the hardest part. Otherwise, he's been doing really good. It's been great. He's been doing all the Rently, he's really been doing good. He understands everything I've been telling him. So yeah, guys, I just hired one just recently. So
Awesome.
yeah, and mine, and he works on Saturday and Sunday, which helps me, which is going to be great for the summer.
Right. Yeah, we talked a lot about that, which I think a lot of us here have that same issue, even if it's a Mr. Rooter, right? The dispatching on the weekends, after hours and on the weekends. So yeah, it really, really just helps to have a quality of life so Beth can do other things other than answering phones all weekend, right?
I know I don't keep him as busy as I should, and I told him we'll get busier, but for now, but I try. I've actually asked, like you said, you can let him do, multiple things. So I've let like maintenance know they can use him to set up appointments between tenants and contractors. So
Perfect.
doing that, and yeah, it's been really good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a question here. Let's see. Andrew said, if we are unhappy with the assistant, will you find us another one? Is there a warranty period? So great question there, Andrew. And the answer is yes. So if we hire a virtual assistant for you and you say, you know what, this doesn't fit my company culture, I want another one. No problem. Just let us know and we will go ahead and replace that virtual assistant for free. So you don't have to pay that $7.95 fee again. And we'll go through the same process. And the good news is when we find talent, we actually don't let them go. So we actually bring them into our company and have them start working with us. That way, when one of you guys is ready to pull the trigger, we have them ready, right? And so a lot of them may be already training with us. So, if that happens to you, we can find one pretty quickly as well. Okay. With regard to answering calls, our calls come in 24/7. How is that handled? Yeah, so if we're just hiring a virtual assistant just for the after hours, or depending on what you're doing. So how I have it is I have virtual assistants that are working during the normal business hours, answering phones, right? So they're answering just regular phones during normal business hours. And then after hours, I've actually created my own little call center within my company. And I have 4 virtual assistants that work after hours and on weekends. And so we kind of, rotate the schedules and whatnot. And when we have our call, we can kind of discuss how that all looks. But it depends on, what you're looking for, but we can do both, either after hours and weekends, or, just putting somebody in place for during the day. Also, a call related question. Sometimes inbound calls bunch up and overlap. And that's a great way to have why you want to have, virtual assistant to help you, is because of that. If your on-premise employees can't answer the phone because they're on a call, we hardly miss any calls. And I think we have and Sean, you might want to tell our ratio for Mr. Rooter is like 98%, right, on the calls?
Yes, yeah. So I think we have a pretty high close rate, but we answer, if the main CSR doesn't answer, it falls over to the manager. But yeah, we've been 99% of the calls are answered live. We rarely miss a phone call. Our close ratio is really high, but as well.
And this is all with the remote team member, right?
Correct.
Yeah, cool. So if you use one or full maintenance coordination, how do you handle after hours calls? So again, we'll just if we're hiring just for an after hours, the phone rings directly to them and they're the night dispatch for that. And then if they have a list of our vendors, that they know that needs, if it's an emergency, you know, what vendor it goes to, all of that. So they're trained on that, and to know who to send that to and to communicate with the residents. Are you using VAs in your Mr. Rooter business? Yes, we are. What types of tasks are they currently handling, and are they trained on Service Titan? So they're doing the dispatching. They're also, you know, they're cleaning up a lot of like the inspection stuff as well, right, Sean?
Yeah, so we have a CSR dispatcher. They also assist in the marketing, but yeah, the main ones are CSR and dispatching. And so they answer the calls, interact with the client, put everything in Service Titan. And then they're also working with the plumbers on the dispatch board and working with them on their schedules. They call the plumbers directly in the field and seeing where they're at. If the technician is running late, or they need to notify their next client, he's the one that's calling them and letting the client know that, hey, he's running a few minutes late. So yeah, he does all the phone and dispatching, as well as CSR. But it's all, and they are trained in Service Titan. They come trained, and they answer live out of Service Titan and handle it just like they would, like just an employee in the office.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean.
And it looks like he also asked if in our Mr. Rooter, are they handling the leads from Angie's? Yes. Now, the way we have it, because Angie's List and Thumbtack, you have to be like Johnny on the spot, you know, with those leads. So those ones yes, they are. He is taking them, but we have a backup to where the manager will also fill in and help out if he's on the phone with a client. Just because Angie's List if you don't get it scheduled immediately, usually they've already reached out to another plumber or scheduled with another plumber.
Awesome. Cool. These are great questions. Any other questions that you guys have? But I kind of want you guys to take out your phones if you haven't done so already. And there's actually a QR code on the screen, and that will allow you to schedule a one-on-one call with me. So that way we can kind of go through your business and see where we can, you know, help you and assist you with the virtual assistant. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and take that out. Also, Brett has actually dropped in the link there as well. So if it's easier, you can just go into my Calendly and schedule that as well. Great. Well, I'm super excited that you guys joined us here today. If you guys don't have any other questions, that's all I had for you today. All right. Well, everybody have a great week, the rest of the week, and reach out to me if you have any other questions. And have a great day, everyone.